Okay, let me get farther away from the microphone. Hey everybody, welcome to another WIP Wednesday. I'm Lizfaerie.
Hi guys, I'm Joey.
We don't have that much to show you this week because I've been working again mostly on one particular project. So I've mostly been making progress on that one doll.
One doll.
And I don't know if this is like gonna happen this time, but last time it randomly chopped off the very beginning and the very end of the stream, but it wasn't dire.
So hopefully our connection is a little nicer to us this time around.
And you did bring it in here,
I brought
right?
it as close as I possibly could.
Okay, and everything is muted. Good, I did do that. Nice. All right, so let me grab these whips. So the first thing I can show you right here on this camera, because it's another sewing project that I'm working on. This is it's this fabric again. I like using this fabric for my test patterns for sewing projects just because I have so much of it.
What it was.
Not that it's not a cute fabric, but like there's so much.
We found like a ton of it.
It was at
the estate sale, right?
Yeah. So like this one, it came in a box with a bunch of other fabrics.
An obscene amount of this fabric.
Yeah, so I have a ton of it, and I do use it for a lot of my testing patterns. But I've been working on trying to get the darts right on... Let me flip it the other way so that you can maybe see it a little better. It's just hard to see with this pattern because it's so busy.
It's so busy, everything blends in. Yeah.
But I've been trying to work on getting the darts right for what do you call it? The bodice of a dress for my body shape in particular, because most patterns don't come in that type of shape. So usually if you're making your own dress, you're going to have to figure out how to fix that yourself and adapt the pattern so that it actually fits you. This is not adapted from a pattern though. I drafted this myself. I used one of my dresses that I already made from a pattern that I drafted a long time ago that like is somewhat the worse for wear, so it's a little harder to use that pattern nowadays, so I'm kind of trying to remake it. I might actually end up using this cloth piece as my new pattern because I didn't add seam allowances in a couple of spots, so it would be easier to just use this as the pattern rather than trying to... I can't really finish it because the front, I just kind of... It used to be attached together at the front, but I figured it would be easier to fit it at the back if I just chopped the front open, so I did that. Unfortunately now it's there's no seam allowances at the front, so I can't sew it back together at the front. But it doesn't matter, it's just a test. But let me throw this on here for a minute. And I'm going to be trying to make this for a pinafore for a dress that I'm going to try to make. I don't know if the straps are at the right... I don't think the straps are at the right place. I sort of just made the straps really long on both pieces, and I just sort of pinned them on, but I'm pretty sure that this is too long. Yeah, it's pretty too long. It's like 3 or 4 inches too long. So the straps aren't quite in the right place, but I'm pretty confident that my darts are or would be in the right place if the fabric was still attached together, but it's not. But here, let me just stand up real quick so that you can see that dart line here on the side of the bust and on the bottom right here. So hopefully if I can recreate this on a different piece of fabric with the strap being the actual correct length, I just have to chop off the excess here and basically copy it down onto something else. I also don't think I added seam allowances for the straps either. But I wasn't really planning on this to be permanent or anything.
Yeah, so you didn't really have to. Yeah. You can save the material that you're going to be chopping up for patterns.
Right, exactly. Here, let me take this off. You know, YouTube, your automatic subtitles are getting better. Definitely. I'm impressed. I'm just... surprised at how accurately the subtitles are coming on for this video, just because I'm usually... It seems like YouTube usually has a harder time understanding what I'm saying, but it seems like it's having an easier time this time. Maybe they updated it or something like that, or I don't know. So yeah, hopefully I can get this looking nice and the correct size. It looks like a like a bodice, so I mean, you know, it looks like what it's supposed to be, so that's a good sign. So yeah, I'm gonna use a dark violet fabric. It's a little bit similar to this color, but maybe a little darker, a little more
deeper purple,
like deeper purple. Yeah. So I'm gonna use something like that, and it's just going to be a basically a pinafore / dress, I guess, so that I can wear it by itself as its own dress, or I can wear it over a shirt as a pinafore.
Nice.
So I'm definitely going to be able to make a full circle skirt for this piece because I have so much of this dark purple fabric. Like, it's ridiculous how much of this fabric that we found.
Yeah, it's nice coming across just huge amounts of fabric.
Yeah.
Just the ability to make a full body piece is pretty crazy.
I know. Oh, this is tangled.
Oh, no.
It's okay. Let me just pull this out for a minute. It's just tangled with the, I got confused because the two yarns are almost the same color, but they are not the same. So let me throw that one back in there. So I've been working on my Yoshi pattern that I had been working on forever.
Yeah, that's another like super classic pattern.
Yeah, it's a pattern that I've been working on for a long time. I made my Yoshi doll like my first Yoshi doll years ago, and I've been meaning to make a pattern for it for the longest time, and I finally finished the prototype Yoshi. I'm not going to show you guys that on WIP Wednesday because it's not a WIP, it's finished. So I'll show you guys that on some Friday stream if we have one later in the month, maybe, or I don't know.
Whenever it happens, depending on how things play out.
I'm just well, I'll go into that in a minute. Let's not get sidetracked. But
one thing at a time.
So I finally finished the Yoshi prototype, and now I'm working on testing the pattern that I wrote for that Yoshi prototype. I'm really bad when I write patterns. I tend to not quite be on top of writing every little thing down while I'm doing it. So I tried to be really good this time and write down as much while I was doing it as I could, but there's probably a few things that I just kind of was like, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing to write this down. So a few things I wrote down after the fact. I don't actually remember which one was which, so I kind of essentially have to test the entire pattern over again, which I have been slowly doing with these two Yoshi prototypes that I'm going to show you right here. I have a blue one and a yellow one going because I already made the spring green one, so if all goes well, I'll just have a bunch of different color Yoshis. The way that I've been writing the tutorial, I made it using the spring green Yoshi, but I'm almost thinking of changing that out so that I'm using a different color, just so that I don't end up with like 6 like of the same color Yoshi.
Right.
But
I'm just freaking literally clones of them just all over the place.
Yeah.
No,
so I think maybe I might change that so that I'm making the tutorial Yoshi in a different color than spring green. But the pattern is going to say spring green because that's the classic Yoshi color. Yeah. But obviously you can replace any of the colors with any color you want, really. Because, I mean, nowadays, like...
I know, there's a lot of colored Yoshis now.
I mean, there was, like, in Yoshi's Woolly World, they kind of went crazy with it. And that's, like, what this is referencing as, like, a crocheted Yoshi. So it kind of makes sense to do literally any pattern you want, I guess. And it'll be the same theoretically as long as you just keep the pattern going with your color changes or whatever through the entire piece. But yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys these Yoshis a little closer up. Let's move that one out of here for now. This one is slightly well, I don't know if slightly less done. I guess they're about the same amount of done as each other. It looks a little
just
weird
in different
with
ways.
With the mouth like this. I'm going to put a lip essentially right here that is in blue, so that this is like even with that, and then sew that all in so that it's like a little mouth piece. Nice. And then you can see I've done it already on this side, but there's going to be a little cheek cover right here. Because I leave this open because it's just a little easier with the construction of it to just leave that open, and you don't really need to fill it because you're going to cover it up with the cheek. But also it does save on a little bit of material, which is nice. It doesn't probably make that much of a difference in the long run, but it's every little bit matters, though, I would think. Stop banging the desk.
I'm sorry.
And then I made this little cap piece here that the eyes go inside of. And I haven't made the eyes yet. I actually made the eyes for this one, and then I was like, why did I do that? And I put them on the prototype that was closer to being finished, because that one didn't have eyes. So there's no reason to not finish that one. So I have to remake the eyes for this one. And this pink one here does not have the eye thing yet, but it does also have the one cover on the cheek and the one not covered up side of the cheek. This one I think came out a little nicer shaped. I'm not exactly sure why that is.
Just how that shape of the nose happened.
Yeah, the shape of the nose on this side maybe. And I almost think maybe it might just be because I pinned the cheek up slightly higher. So it has more of a curve to it rather than it just being straight across. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that might be something that I'll go into whenever I eventually make the tutorial. And the things that I've done on this Yoshi's and on both of these Yoshi's since the last time I showed you guys was I made them their arms, essentially, is the only thing that I've really added since then. So now they've got these arms. This one still doesn't have a skeleton, though. I'm debating whether or not I should make it one, because in order to make it one, I would have to, completely unstuff it.
Right.
Hey, it's Digo. What's up, D?
Hey, D.
So yeah, that's pretty close to being done. Still needs one more leg and the eye sockets, I guess. And then also I have to just stitch all of this stuff together, like at the mouth area. So you can see basically what I was saying earlier, how I added this lip here that makes the inner mouth piece flush with the nose. And I have not done that on this one yet, so...
Its gums are still hanging out.
Well, I mean, that's the inside of the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really gums.
Yeah,
Does Yoshi even have teeth?
That's a good question. Probably not.
I don't think so.
It would be really weird to see a picture of Yoshi with teeth.
Being all like... So, yeah, so because this is such a complicated project, and I know people have wanted me to finish this for a long time... I'm actually going to, this is not usually what I do, but I'm going to try to make this pattern available next week at some point before I actually make the tutorial. As soon as I'm done testing the pattern and making sure that everything makes sense and is correct, I'm just going to post the pattern and people can get the pattern if they want to. Eventually I'll make a tutorial, but I don't know how long that's going to take me just because it's a really complicated project. I have a lot of other stuff going on right now. We're about to go on a trip. Which, by the way, that's another thing we should probably mention. So we're going to be here next week, and then that's the week before our trip. So the week after that, we're not going to be here.
Yeah, so the last week of September, we will not be here for WIP Wednesday.
And I was considering, I'm not even sure, though, because I was considering trying to do a Friday stream that week, but then it's like, oh, but then we're going to leave, the next day. So it's like, would we want to do something like that literally the night before we had to go on a long drive? I don't know.
Oh, we're driving back on Sunday.
Wait, what? Driving back on Sunday? I mean, when we're driving over there.
Oh yeah, no, that's true, huh?
We wouldn't do a stream from over there.
I was confused.
Yes, you were, but so I was just because I don't know how much stuff I'm gonna be able to finish this week because we're going to be leaving.
Maybe we should just do another Stardew stream or something.
Yeah, maybe we could just do another Stardew stream. It depends on how much stuff I have finished, though. I'm going to be trying to finish these Yoshis, so those will probably be just about finished, if not finished, on Wednesday, you would think. And I'm going to try to finish this Pinafore before Friday. Why do I always do this to myself? So, in theory, maybe Wednesday I'll have some of that done, and I can show you guys the progress on the Pinafore.
Right.
And then there's also the Bear Girl doll, which I will be delivering on this trip, so hopefully it'll be more progress, but we'll see. I haven't even gotten to that yet, so you guys will see the progress that I've already made on that since last week. Put these Yoshis inside, please. Or I suppose you could hold them.
Put them to my side.
Okay, so
speaking of Bear Girl doll.
Yeah, the Bear Girl is next. So I've done a lot of work on her. She looks kind of hilarious right now, just because I haven't quite finished with her face. So it's in a bit of an awkward middle phase that looks a little bit funny. It's cute, but it's funny. First I'll show you guys this that I have pinned onto her. Let me unpin it real quick just so that I can show you. If you've been watching these streams for the past couple of weeks, you will know that I really want to try to make a second outfit for this doll. And I might be able to do it, but I did start on it. And let me show you guys the one thing that I have made. It's not terribly impressive. It's very, very small. So feast your eyes on this beautiful, complicated project. No, these are going to be the cups for the bra that I'm going to make her for her second outfit. These are actually the inside liner pieces, though. Because the purple, I don't even know if you can tell that this is purple. It's like a really soft, like bluish lavender kind of color. But the color that she's actually wearing in real life, because this doll is a commission to look like a particular person, the color that she's wearing in real life is a little more of a grapey purple. So it's not really quite the right color, and I don't know if we would be able to even find the right color in like a fat quarter at like Michael's or something like that. So what I was going to do is I have this piece of the same fabric here that I actually colored in with a Sharpie, because sometimes if you color with a Sharpie a piece of fabric like cotton like this is, and then iron the Sharpie in, it will be semi-permanently on the fabric. And since this is just a doll, it's not going to be a piece that's worn by an actual person, so it's theoretically not ever going to be washed. And I have these little liner pieces so that none of the color bleeds through the fabric onto the doll itself. So this was just a little test that I did to see if the ink would color well onto the fabric and to see if it was more the correct color, which it is. That's pretty much the color that I was looking for, and that's just a plain purple Sharpie that just came in the multi-pack Sharpies.
Yeah, it's funny.
So in theory, this isn't the fabric I'm going to use, but in theory I would make the exact same thing like this out of this type of fabric, and then put them right sides together and sew them together along this curve here, so that when I flipped them inside out, this would be facing the inside on the lining with the seam on the inside, and then same thing on the outside would have, except it would be the darker purple. So in theory, that's what I'm going to do for the cups, and then I'll sew those together, add a little strip of lace to the tops, and make a little bra out of it. In theory, that's what I'm going to try to do. And I want to also make a little matching underwear using the same technique. So that's the second outfit that I'm going to be making for her. The main thing that I have to do for this outfit is to make the wig. And the wig is like kind of an easy wig to make. So I'm kind of confident that I will be able to finish this outfit, because it literally consists of a bra and panties and a wig. So it's way less complicated. Doable. Yeah, it's way less complicated than this one that I'm working on is. So let's look at the Bear Girl. Here she is in her current state. She doesn't have her wig on because I haven't finished with it yet. I still have like a third of it to go. It takes so long to curl a wig, especially when it's like really tight curls, which I'm doing for her because I want her to have more of an afro kind of type hair. So here's what we've got on her so far. All of these pins in the front are kind of not necessarily really meant, they don't need to be there. I was just kind
for safekeeping.
I was just putting them there so that I could figure out what the shape of the underwire was going to be right here. So I'm gonna do that next. I've been doing this so horribly out of order. The video is going to be really weird and inconsistent with the order that things happen in.
That's funny.
I still haven't figured out like what format I'm going to do for the video, just because of how weird it is and how like out of order I've been making this doll. But I'm sure that it will be okay and fine. I just have to figure out the most efficient order that makes the most sense. So I actually sewed all of the little collar section together already.
Nice.
I just haven't sewn it onto the corset itself. And I didn't do that because I wanted to actually take the corset off and show you guys while I left the collar on. Because I have not put the closure. There's going to be a hook and eye closure here at the back of the collar. So let me show you guys a closer view. Let's look at her little face so far. Yeah, she's got her little teeth now, so I'm pretty happy with that. I actually had to cover up her tongue because the color just didn't really work after I added the black and the white. It's like, because I used this same pink that I used for her nose and her ears, but when it was surrounded by the black, it just didn't look pink anymore. So it was like kind of pointless. So I think I'm going to just add back in her tongue, like in between the teeth eventually. I'm not sure quite what color I'm going to use for the tongue, but I'll just look through my embroidery floss and see if I can find something that would work. And I did fill in a lot more of her face, so she's got a little bit more she's got like there's some more filled in here and on her cheek. I still have to fill this cheek in a little bit. You can kind of see it's a little sunken in right here, so this area needs to be filled out a little more.
And she has that one eyebrow.
Yeah, and she does have one eyebrow. I made her a second eyebrow, but because I forgot that I still needed to fill this area in more, so it just didn't quite look right. I couldn't get it to look like, no matter how close to the same shape I made it, it still didn't look right because the angle wasn't the same. So I just filled this area in, and now I'm going to re-add that eyebrow back in on top of it. And I need to add some more to her chin, and then I need to add on top of the teeth so that they're more underneath instead of being on the outside like how they are right now, because they look a little bit uncanny. And then I'm going to give her a lip as well. So hopefully she'll look nice when that happens. But yeah, she kind of looks a little skeletal right now with the way that her mouth looks. So that's not going to be how the finished doll looks. I am going to cover up the bottom and the top of the teeth, just to give her more of like a lips look instead of just teeth sticking out.
Instead of just bearing teeth.
Yeah. She does look cute though. She just looks a little weird and funny. So the collar is all sewn together. Like, I sewed together all of these pieces at the spots where they join, and I also sewed the straps together right there. Let me stick that pin right back in there. So I'm going to take off the corset and show you guys, because I don't think I was able to show you guys a closer view of the corset last time, just because I had it all pinned together and I was afraid to move it. So in theory, I should be able to take down her corset. And now I can show you guys that's what the chest looks like so far. And there's the collar all sewed together, but not quite attached at the straps yet. So I'm going to sew the corset down to the strap here and here. And then at the back here and here. And here is the corset so far. There's the front. I still have to, you can kind of see, I used some shiny thread to sew the boning on here and here, but I have not done so here. It's still kind of dull thread, and I haven't made like the full like tube look type thing. I think I'm also going to maybe do a straight stitch along both sides.
That'd probably help
to kind of give it more of a structure, and kind of maybe pull it together a little bit more so that it looks more straight. Because that's the thing with this fabric, because it has this this like, what do you call it, like pleating ironed into it, kind of. It kind of makes it like stretch and warp a little bit more, so doing something like that might help with that. And I did start the boning on this side with the shiny thread. I still have to do this one, and then I have to do the cups here, but I'm going to add some underwire to that, so when I do the underwire is when I'm going to add the shiny thread to encase it. And then let me show you the back, just because it's cool. It's fully lined, so I can actually pull this back because the liner is not sewn down or attached. So see, there's one side of the liner at the bottom and then one side of the liner at the top here. And there's all of the boning from the inside. And I have not sewn any of the boning down to the liner yet, because I kind of want it to just have a nice, clean, finished look. Just tuck that right in there. And then when I'm finished with everything, I'm just going to ladder stitch those 2 liner pieces together so that it doesn't pull apart, essentially. But I love the way this corset is turning out. I'm going to add some hook and eye closures to the back here so that it can attach together right there. And then also, obviously, underwire. And I used a stretchy fabric for the cups so that I could just cut out that shape, essentially, and not have to worry about darts or anything like that.
Right.
And the corset that I'm basing this off of had like a little zipper detail going down the front here. I think I'm just going to grab some silver thread and just sew like a little suggestion of a zipper down with some straight stitches. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make the zipper pull look, but we'll see. And then I just have to sew it back down to all of those little straps. But yeah, I'm loving how this project is coming along. This is one of my best dolls
she's cute.
That I've ever made, so it's pretty exciting that it's almost finished.
I know, right?
I keep running into her spine when I try to pin the back up.
Ouch.
Well, that's a good thing though, because that means that it's perfectly lined down the middle of the back.
That's true.
And I still have to pull these down, add the underwire, and then stitch everything to all of the straps. Oh yeah, and then the other thing that I worked on, I finished her leggings, or her nylons rather. So I added this little lace cap to the top to hide all of my ugly stitches because I did do this by hand and it's not really terribly easy to sew nylon.
Right, totally. No, it came out really nice though.
I was hoping that the black lace would help with making this look black, but it didn't really. It still looks very, very navy. And that's annoying.
Yeah. Because we did buy this thinking it was labeled black.
But they are not black. They're just really dark.
Like on the scale. Maybe if they were
on a full body person, it would look more black. But on this doll, it definitely looks navy.
Right.
It looks less navy in real life though than it does on the camera. But yeah, I love how that little back seam came out. These aren't the seams aren't exactly straight, but no, it's fine. She's fine.
Everybody has that problem.
So there's just a few more things that remain for making outfit number 1 for this doll. And that's going to be to sew the corset to the straps. And I need to figure out what I'm doing for her shoes.
Right.
Because a lot of these looks that I'm basing these off of don't show shoes. Because they don't show, like, her feet, or she's just not wearing any shoes.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I kind of have to just make it up, so. And I have to do it in a way that it's fast, because...
Yeah, serious.
Because, like...
We don't have to spend a lot of time.
And shoes can be pretty complex, so I need to figure out an easy, quick way of making her some shoes.
Hey, it's Demon Lee. Hi.
Hey, Demon Lee. I'm glad you were able to catch the stream. I can take this bear girl. We have just actually one more WIP that we're going to show.
Came in for the end of it.
Yeah, this one's,
You've got the context, though.
I have a bit to go into about this one. It's a little bit terrifying, so, be aware.
Oh, yeah, because we're trying some new...
I'm trying a new experiment.
Right.
Let me just show you this cute little back and butt first.
Let's do some lamp shading. So, cute butt.
It's adorable. And there's the bust.
Right. Everything normal as usual.
And now here's this terrifying business. So, the plan here is that I'm going to try to give her an articulated jaw, which I've never done before on a doll. Well, I mean, on, like, anything, I guess. I mean, what else have I made with a jaw of any kind? So this is going to have an articulated jaw. I guess it's kind of more inspired by my puppet making background that I used to do when I was younger.
Definitely.
So I have some armature wire that I built here. I actually built this onto the main skeleton that I made, so it's all just one piece of wire.
Nice.
The way that I made this mouthpiece, I essentially made it as though it had like an extra like arm on the face, and then I kind of just turned it around until it was the right shape, and then I took the end of the wire and twisted it around it to get it to like stay in that spot, but still be one continuous piece of wire. And maybe I'll show you guys a tutorial of that eventually. But this is going to be, if you guys caught our Stardew Valley stream, this is going to be the blueberry girl that we built in Stardew Valley to play our Stardew run as.
Chill stream.
So, yeah, no, I keep thinking that too, actually. It definitely does have a bit of Five Nights at Freddy's vibes.
I know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully she'll look good once I've covered that up. So let me show you guys basically what I'm trying to do. With this doll, I did the inset eyes, and I just kind of layered the eyes in with embroidering forever until I layered on enough stitches to create a face. This time I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to do the inset eyes again on this one, but I'm going to actually try to crochet a separate face and then just kind of stick it on top and see if that works a little bit better without it having to be like so dense and heavy, and without it having to waste so much material, because this does use a lot of yarn. I used so much yarn, I ran out of yarn because I had so much bulk.
We almost thought we weren't going to find any more because we weren't sure if it was a seasonal color or not.
And lovely Crochet Crafts Jewelry and More says, "Hi."
Hi. Welcome to our stream. Even though it's near the end of it, I think we're on our last piece that we're showing right now.
And Demonly says, "Oh, our blueberry girl. Yes, that is who this is going to be."
She was super cute.
I was so in love with her.
Got to carry through.
Oh, actually, you know what? Could you hand me that clipboard that's under that yarn there? Because that's one other thing that I could show you guys. I actually drew a little picture of her.
Concept art.
Yeah, so I'll show you guys the drawing, which is less... It doesn't look as impressive because I haven't colored it yet. Maybe I'll color it and show it to you guys next time. And I have some decorative things in here. But here we go. So here's our blueberry girl that I've been drawing. She's going to be a farmer. We also have a decorative chicken and a decorative horse. And I'm going to give her like a big straw hat, I think, eventually. She does have her little Princess Leia buns.
Yeah, right.
And her little overalls. I am going to try to... And I drew her with the hoe in her hand. But, so I'm going to try to make it look kind of like this. I gave her more of like a round, like, body type to kind of imply more blueberryness.
Yeah, she's plump.
And I think I'm going to give her like dark navy blue hair with like dark purple highlights, maybe. Might be nice. And what was she wearing again? It was like a black overalls with like a purple shirt or something like that.
Yeah,
I think maybe.
I think that was the color scheme.
Yeah, and I don't remember what color her boots are, but they'll probably just be like, I don't know, leathery or something. And we have a chicken here, so we have to buy a chicken on the farm whenever we play Stardew again. And then we do have the horse, but that's going to take us a while.
And then maybe once you finish her, you can make her a little companion chicken.
I know. That would be great. I love chickens. Demon Leia says that she is crocheting an octopus from a pattern bought off Ravelry tonight. Yeah, I bet it's a big project.
Yeah, I could see that being pretty complex.
Yeah, I've wanted to make...
Especially depending on the scope.
I've wanted to make an octopus pattern for a while. I kind of more want to make one in conjunction with my mermaids, though, and I want to make like a mermaid girl that is an octopus. Kind of like, I guess, like Ursula.
Totally. I would love that.
Little Mermaid. So that's something that I hopefully will be able to have time to do eventually. So I guess this drawing was the last WIP.
I know, right?
Let me show the blueberry girl.
The concept art.
And so the body type is coming along. And I think also that I didn't mention, that I kind of did a different way of doing the arms this time, or the armholes this time, where I kind of just crocheted over the wire, and I didn't make an armhole there just because I didn't really think it was necessary, I guess. It does save a little tiny bit of fabric or yarn rather to leave the armhole there, but it's not really necessary, I guess.
Right.
Maybe like the larger doll you make, the more efficient it is to leave that out because you're saving on more yarn. But since she's so small, it didn't really matter. I thought it would just be easier to just crochet around the wire where I want her arms to go, essentially.
And that should make it easier to stuff too, no? Or
what do you mean?
I don't know. I thought I remembered you saying that it should make it easier to stuff for some reason, like to fiber fill.
I don't know if that was what I said. I don't remember, and I can't think of why that is. So maybe I said that, and I don't remember what the hell I was thinking.
Who knows?
But and then the other thing that I did was I actually crocheted around the skeleton along the spine as well. You can kind of see in here, the spine is actually embedded inside of the fabric.
That's going to be a crazy good structure.
And because I did that, it already has this little line down the back, which I usually have to sew in. Like, it already has the line there.
That is so smart.
And I actually did the same thing with the bust at the cleavage. So the cleavage is also kind of like, I don't really have to sew it as much to shape it because it's already pulled in to the spine. Smart. So that's another technique that I might, because I do think I might end up just remaking my doll body tutorial now that we have our new mic and our new studio set up. And I have a couple of little techniques like that I'm going to start adding into it. And then also I'm going to start doing the inset eyes more, and maybe this will become a thing with the articulated jaw. I don't know. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that I should maybe try to remake in my new current style so that it's like fully updated and has all of the techniques that I use now to make dolls that make it a little easier and a little faster and look a little more, I guess, professional.
Yeah. If any of you guys have favorite old videos of Liz's, you should leave a comment or something to let us know.
Well, if there's any of them that you would want me to like remake, I guess.
Because because you've been doing this channel for a while, obviously, so you kind of have a lot, I guess, of material that you could potentially.
Yeah, I guess a lot of my older videos still get a lot of people commenting on them that my mic is terrible, and it's like, okay, but I mean,
we fixed that.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's like I can't really go back and fix the video because I already made the video, so it's like I would have to just remake the entire video, and that's going to take time, and it's like not really something that I can just go fix. Like, I really don't understand why.
People don't understand.
But so that's the last thing we have to show you guys.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll have a bunch more progress done on the Bear Girl and my Pinafore at the very least next week, and also the Yoshis, hopefully, because hopefully we can actually get that pattern actually out next week would be nice.
Yeah.
And anybody that's on Patreon, I'm going to give you guys a discount on the pattern just in case you guys want to get that, I guess, before the tutorial comes out. And then as I'm filming the tutorial and posting it, as I'm filming the tutorial, I'm going to be posting it rather on Patreon. So you guys will get the video early if you're subscribed on Patreon. And because this is going to take a while, this project is going to take a while. So if you want to get the pattern and see the tutorial a lot faster, you can join Patreon, because that will ensure that happens. Because I really don't know how long this is going to take me.
Right.
It's going to take quite a while. So yeah.
So I think that's it.
So we're probably going to be back next week on Wednesday. Probably not Friday, because that would be pushing it.
I know, right? If we're feeling really ambitious and we have everything all set and ready to go, then maybe we'll have a little chill Stardew stream. But probably not.
But so we'll see you guys next week on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting with us.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.